Hey everyone, I'm Josh.
I'm T.
And this weekend,
We're going to Grenfell. Hey everyone, so we are on our way to Grenfell. We are about to get some fuel, but this trip is going to be the first of many trips that we're going to call one tank trips. Would you like to explain why, Joshua?
so the idea behind one tank trips is for us to get out and go visit places that are within the range of one fuel tank, there and back from our home base in Bathurst. Now we drive a Jeep, so you know that does mean that some of these locations are going to be a bit limited because especially when we're towing, we use quite a bit of fuel. Now we've got a couple of rules for this. First of all, there's no refueling during a trip. The idea is if we're going to go somewhere, we plan to go there and come back without refueling, which means that we've got to be really careful about how much fuel we use when we're away, like when we're staying somewhere, and also how much idling we do. Like we can't let the car sit there idling the whole time while we set up, because that's going to burn precious fuel, especially on trips where we might use a bit more fuel. If we run out of fuel, we do have a 20 litre jerry can in the back that we'll use as an emergency reserve that can get us to the nearest servo. And if we run out of fuel, you'll see me on the side of the road putting that fuel into Rubi. For this trip today, we're headed to Grenfell and we're headed to Grenfell. We've got a range of about 380 kilometres when we're towing, and Grenfell return is 320. So we're starting it with a banger. We'll see if we get to the end. First, we've got to chuck fuel in, and then we'll be on our way. We've just pulled up at a little pit stop in Cowra. One of the dogs is absolutely fighting up a storm, so T's going to take him for a walk and we're going to have a quick pit stop and then we're going to get back on the road. Just for some stats, we've done about 105 Ks. We're sitting on 340 Ks to empty, and we're almost at 3/4 of a tank. So we got stuck behind a cattle cart that was going quite slow, so fuel economy numbers got better, so we might just make it. We'll check in at Grenfell. We've arrived in Grenfell. We got here after dark, so we weren't able to film the setup. We've just put the fence out for the dogs, put the skirt in. We haven't bothered putting the awning or anything up. We might worry about that tomorrow. We haven't bothered with a fire tonight, but we'll probably have one tomorrow night. The main street of Grenfell is lit up with a whole bunch of like string lights and stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. We might go for a walk down there tomorrow evening, just on or just after sunset. We got into the van and I started preparing to cook dinner, and I had planned to cook a nice chicken satay, but hey T, why aren't we having satay for dinner tonight?
Because somebody forgot the sauce, and
Yeah.
IGA's shut now. So.
Yeah, I forgot to throw the satay sauce in, so it's processed meats and cheese for dinner tonight. These were supposed to be our snacks, but yeah, these things happen. So I've got a bunch of chicken that's cooked, that's now cooling, that's going to go in the fridge. And we'll have satay chicken tomorrow night. So
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully I can get some satay from IGA. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night there. We'll catch up with you guys in the morning. Good morning everyone and welcome to Grenfell. We've taken the dogs for a bit of a walk this morning and we've had a quick look at the silos. They do have a light display on in the evening. It was a bit cold and we were a bit tired last night to go have a look at it, so we're going to go check that out tonight. We're just going for a bit of a walk around the railway precinct. We've come down to the dog park to let the dogs go for a run, and we will head back up the railway tracks into town. There is some really nice lights and stuff that are going on in the evening, so we'll probably wander back up into town later, but yeah, we'll see what we find in Grenfell. We're just going for a walk up the main street now, and admittedly it's only 9:30 on a Saturday morning, but it's got Sleepy Old Town written all over it. It's so quiet.
While we were exploring the main street, we popped into the Chrysler Museum, which is a private collection of some very rare Chryslers throughout the ages. The gentleman that runs the museum is extremely passionate about his Chryslers, having owned them from a very young age, spending a lot of time racing and restoring these gems. Not everything in the collection is his, with some items on long-term loan, but well worth checking out. There are some beautifully restored old vehicles here, as well as some very well-kept modern muscle. The building the museum is housed in has its own history too, originally being the stables for the hotel across the road. The horses would head into the stables and rest overnight, and it's somewhat serendipitous that the building now houses horsepower of another kind. Moving on up the street, it feels like a town that got locked in time. There are some beautiful, well-cared for historic buildings, and you can tell the locals are very proud of their town and their heritage. We even saw this very well-restored Thunderbird cruising around. There was even some early handheld filmmaking gear on display. Henry Lawson features quite prominently, with the Grenfell being the birthplace of the famous poet. There are many monuments and even a park bench where you can sit down and chill out with his statue. So that is the main street of Grenfell. Or how do you pronounce it? Grenfell? I say Grenfell. Depends, say it however you want. The beautiful old buildings there. There's a lot to see and do down there. So, and we've only probably scratched the surface of it. So we'll definitely have to come back here again and have a closer look, I think.
Yeah, and it was nice to see that the Chrysler Museum is actually dog friendly, so there wasn't any information on that online at all. So if you're going to come here with your dogs, you can absolutely go into the Chrysler Museum. Some beautiful old cars there. Just be aware, if it's listed as open but the front door is closed, he's probably showing somebody through. He does shut the front door when he's showing people through, so it's worth waiting until he's in the front office and then take you through. It is cash only though, be aware of that. So, fuel check, we are currently sitting with 262 kilometres to empty, so with 160 k's to get home, that gives us about a 100k buffer. We are going to go for a little drive now, so that is going to eat into that. We're going to go check out O'Brien's Hill, and there's a memorial to Henry Lawson. I think there's a Henry Lawson Park or something, and we might even hit up the museum later if that's dog friendly. We'll see how we go with that. Anyway, let's go check out this lookout. Heading out from town, we arrived at O'Brien's Hill and had a look out over the town. Grenfell was originally founded from a mining claim, and this is the site of one of the original gold mines, with one of the shafts going as deep as 700 feet. There are lots of ruins and a nice little short walk around what's left of the mining infrastructure at the site, including an open mine that T even ventured to have a little bit of a look down. I opted to take some photos. Heading further down into the mining area, there is a large stamper battery that has been partially disassembled sitting on the site. It's pretty impressive to think of the engineering that it took to design, transport and build these units into such a remote area, one of the units having even been relocated to Grenfell from Hill End, another place we love to visit for very similar reasons. We can only imagine the thunder of the stampers with the water running through to wash the gold out of the crushed quartz. Life would have been hard, long days, back-breaking work for minimal pay, and yet, with the allure of a fortune, the gold rush brought thousands to the town. All through the bush area there are lots of things to check out, but beware, once you stray off the main track, you never know what you'll find hidden in the bush. From here we headed up to the Endemic Gardens, which is a garden originally put together by a few locals to display native plants. T had a field day walking around and taking photos within the garden while I had a bit of a rest from wrangling the dogs. Who knows what ideas T now has for our own garden at home. T's just gone back into the Endemic Garden to get some photos, so hopefully we'll have a nice little montage of some really artful photos. Next up, we're going to go head to Henry Lawson's birthplace. We've just pulled up at Henry Lawson's birthplace and there's all these signs saying no dogs everywhere. So we've just got the car on the side of the road with the air conditioner running, so the dogs are all good, and we're going to go check out what's here at Henry Lawson's birthplace. While there are no official records or photos of the house that Henry Lawson was born in, the approximate location has been laid out in stones on the ground. It's well worth spending some time here. The locals have put together a plaque walk detailing his history, rise and fall of his life. While he is famously known for being an Australian writer, his writing never found him any great fortune, often struggling to make ends meet due to poor royalty deals with his publishers. He did spend some time overseas, but after a short time returned to Australia, eventually becoming divorced from his wife. Henry was known for being a very heavy drinker, and while we may know him as a famous poet, history tells a much more grim story of the writer. That's pretty cool. The plaque walk is definitely interesting and absolutely worth a read. Now that we've checked out Henry Lawson's birthplace, we're going to go check out the company dam, which was originally built to supply water for the gold mines. So we just got out to the company dam and the sign said fire trails, so...
Naturally, we're going for a drive.
Yeah, naturally we're checking it out. We are sacrificing a little bit of fuel to do this, but yeah, there's not a lot of water in the dam.
Oh, there's some splash. No one's been through here.
I'm just going to tiptoe into it.
That looks fun.
We've got an obstacle. I'm going to go for a little drive then.
Alright. I'm going to go look for them.
Let's go do some driving. Bye.
Bye.
The things you find in the bush. So this trail's not marked on new tracks, so I'm not sure going down here solo is a good idea. It gets pretty hairy a bit further up. But check out what I've just come across. It's I don't know what it is. It's a two-door something. If anyone watching knows what this car might be, please let me know. Obviously someone was having a little bit too much fun in the bush, and yeah, well,
I guess the results speak for themselves. Looks like it's been pretty much gutted. I can't tell if there's still an engine in it, but I'd be surprised if there was. But yeah, the things you find in the bush. Oh well, let's keep going for a look and see what else is on this trail. And then we'll go see if we can find tea.
I've come to the end of one of the trails that wasn't on the main map down at the dam. It is on new tracks, although the trail doesn't quite go all the way to the end on new tracks. I was actually looking for a peak in the area that's marked on the map. I don't think this is the one that gets to it. But I've come to the end, and look, I've got to say I'm kind of disappointed. We see this everywhere, but like, don't do this. If you're going to come out and enjoy the bush, don't trash it. Alright, time to head back down and see where we end up and then link up with tea.
You know, right here we have a perfect example of why you don't just go barreling up these tracks. Now this track I've found here, I've got Rubi just down there. I got to there, there's a spot where I can turn around because I saw this. And while there's probably enough room for me to swing around on the half I got hard left and scrape it on the branches and stuff, this is asking for a rollover, especially if you're on your own. So I don't know how solid that embankment is, and it's just not something that I want to try today. This doesn't actually go very far. I was hoping this would go up to the top of the hill, but it doesn't. So it just goes into a little loop that's just here. Look, you could certainly get a dirt bike up here. That wouldn't be a problem. I could probably get Rubi through this, but it's just not something I'm willing to risk on my own. If I was here with another vehicle, something that could recover me if I ever got in a really bad situation. Admittedly, someone's obviously driven through here because they've put all these logs in the hole. But again, it's just not something that I want to risk on my own. So we'll turn around and see where else we end up.
When we do little bits like this where T goes for a walk and I go driving, we find each other using the Find My iPhone feature. And I've just been driving along and it looks like we might have a problem. There's a tree across the road. I don't have my chainsaw. Let's have a look. See if we can drag it with a winch. If not, we are going to have to find another way back to T.
So I've had a look at the tree. I can probably clear it with the winch, but it is 10 past 3 in the afternoon. It's probably going to take me 20 minutes or so to clear it. And the sun is starting to get a bit low in the sky. Sunset's about 5 o'clock. I don't really want to be out here too much longer, and I don't want to be sitting here idling for too long. I think I'm just going to backtrack and go back in a different way. Hopefully there's no more trees down, because to go back the way I've come is a long way.
Well, I found T wandering through
missing anyway.
Wandering through the bush,
Yeah.
taking photos.
Birds. Birds.
Say birds and dogs go where?
We found some pelicans on the dam. They love pelicans.
That little 4-wheel drive episode did cost me a little bit of fuel, so we're now sitting at 194 k's to empty. We still have more than half a tank, so we should have enough fuel to make it home, but it's definitely going to be interesting. We're going to, we've just got back to camp, and I think now we're going to just relax for the evening. We'll get the fire going. We'll actually cook dinner. Cook what I was supposed to cook last night, but forgot to put the ingredients in. And then we'll check in again tomorrow morning. We'll probably do a few more touristy activities in the morning before we head home.
We are definitely going to check out the silo at night, though. It's supposed to be lit up in the street as well.
Yeah. So we'll check in tomorrow morning and then we'll see how the trip home goes, because I think this is going to be tight.
Later in the evening, we went for a walk with the dogs to go have a look at the light show at the silo. The light show runs from sunset until 9:30 p.m. every night of the year and is really impressive. The show lights up the silo art in many ways that make it feel almost alive and moving and living. Heading out from the silos, we took a walk up the main street to get some photos of the string lights that illuminate the street overnight. At night, the town has an almost eerie feel to it, as if the people that once founded the town with all the hustle and bustle were still there today.
The next morning, before packing up, we ventured into the town once again, but not to check out the main street, but rather the road behind it. What is seemingly an unassuming street away from the main street with no active shops is well worth checking out. George Street, the original main street, which dates back to 1866, was the original main street from the gold rush and is still filled with historic buildings, information, and is well worth a visit while you're in town. While we were out exploring, we did find this beautiful house for sale that we absolutely fell in love with. And while we did consider moving to the area, unfortunately our family situation means that we will be tied to Bathurst for a while yet. Maybe one day. Well, good morning everyone. Actually, it's afternoon. It's 12:01.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's it. We went for a walk this morning and the camper's a bit of a mess. We're just about to tidy everything up and pack up. We had a look down one of the other historic streets, apparently the original main street here, and there's still a whole bunch of really cool stuff there as well. We're just about to get packed up, so we'll show you a quick time lapse of the pack up. I'll show you what the time is on the camera when we get started, and then you'll see how long it takes us to pack up the camper and get on the road. We've still got about half a tank of fuel, so I think we're going to be okay to get home, but we'll just wait and see. Well, that was Grenfell. Did I say that right?
You say it however you want.
We'll work it out one day. Pretty cool little town, lots of history. The whole gold mining establishment is pretty common in regional New South Wales, it seems. And we're a sucker for history, so. Some beautiful architecture, lots of things to do. We didn't even do everything. There's still the museum, there's more old buildings in various places throughout the town that we didn't get to have a look at. Definitely have to come back again soon. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah?
Absolutely love it. Yeah. Beautiful old town. Beautiful.
You reckon we could live here one day?
I'd love to, actually.
As far as fuel's concerned, the last little four-wheel driving bit has put a bit of a dent in our fuel economy, so...
Okay, 'cause someone went four-wheel driving yesterday.
Well, you know, you've got a
we
Jeep.
got to test the limits, I guess.
You got a Jeep and you find these tracks, you just got to do it. So right now, the trip computer's saying 172 k's to empty. We've got 160 k's to home, so this one's going to come...
scrape it.
This one's going to come right down to the wire anyway. We'll get out onto the highway and we'll check in as we go. If we get to the point where the trip computer says low fuel,
we're going to have to put it
really going to have to think about pulling over and putting that jerry can in, but I don't want to put that jerry can in.
So we have just reached Cowra. We have just under a half a tank left to go. We've got 107 k's until home.
And it's just ticked over. We got a bit of B-roll just before. It says 148 now, but 149 k's to empty.
So I think we might be okay, depending how we go on the hills, because it is very hilly between Cowra and home.
Yeah, the hills are going to be the killer. I've managed to claw back a little bit of fuel economy. We were sitting around nearly 21 litres, I think 20.5, something like that. to the 100. We're now down to 19.7, so I've managed to claw back a little bit of it, but we're still sort of in that, you know, going to be getting home with 30-40 k's to empty, so
Someone else is looking forward to getting home too.
We'll just wait and see how we go.
Yeah. So we have reached Blaney, and how much fuel do we have?
So we're sitting on 80 kilometres to empty. We're just a little under a quarter of a tank, and we've just gotten stuck at the railway crossing. Lights have just come
joyful.
on. So the boom gates are going down because you never rush railway crossings. We have 35 kilometres to go. I'm just setting my other camera up so I can show you what's going on. So we have 35 k's to go, and we have 79 kilometres to empty on the trip meter. Now, a funny thing happens when you get into that last quarter of the fuel tank. It drops really quickly. So, are we going to make it? Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
There's the train. And, yeah, he's going reasonably. He's not flooring it, but he's not shunting either, so he's...
You still wouldn't want to tangle with it, that's for sure.
Gosh, no. But it will stall us a bit. It's a pretty long train too, so see how we go. So it looks like we made it. That was our one tank trip done and dusted. We are about 4 k's from home, and we still have how much fuel?
55 k's of range. So that's our first one tank trips episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. It was a bit stressed there when we left Grenfell, only having sort of 20 k's up our sleeve. But you know what? We made it. Bit of careful driving, and we're back in town. So I think we're going to end it here because there's no point in us showing you our driveway or pulling into our driveway. Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comments below whether you've enjoyed this episode. This is a bit of a new format. We've got an idea to go visit a bunch more places in the local area, some further away, some closer, some that are through some pretty hilly terrain that are going to see the fuel economy get pretty horrendous, even for a Jeep. So thanks all for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. I'm Josh.
I'm T.
And we're J&T's Journey. Cheers.
Biru.
Just one more final update. We're about 1 kilometre from home, and this has just happened. So there you go. Fuel light came on. See you guys.